The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes. Now in our 10th year of broadcasting each week, we continue talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we're going to share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today, we're going to start off the show talking with Stacy Moniz, who's the Executive Director of the Maui Farm. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Susie.
How you
Thanks
doing?
for having me on. Oh, I'm doing great.
Hey, have you hit six months over there yet?
Yes, I did. I started in August, so...
Oh, my goodness, you're
it's
going
been
on to a
almost
year.
a year, yeah. Time flies.
Oh, man,
Truly.
does it.
Especially on a farm. It does.
So you're on your second round of crops.
Yeah, we kind of are. We're on our first round of lychee, which I was excitedly sharing about. So, yeah, time does definitely fly. And you can tell the seasons by what's growing. And that's so cool. It's my first time experiencing that.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. I'm super excited. I wish I got to spend more time on the farm, and less time in the office. But Wednesday mornings are community gardening for our staff and the residents at the farm. So I spend all morning there. So I came running in a little bit sweaty. But I did have a bag of lychee to bring. And that's the cool thing about the farm. And every time people come and help us out, we're able to give back a little bit of something yummy to eat, hopefully.
Cool, yeah. It's the first crop of lychee, you say?
It is. In years, nobody could remember that tree ever giving fruit. So
really?
I think that cold winter has done amazing things. Like if you even look at the trees in Makawao or the avocado trees, we're going to have a banner mango avocado year, I think, because that cold winter and now this super hot summer, it's kind of extreme. I don't know.
Yeah, we've got going extreme on both ends here. Yeah.
So, but I think it's kind of good for a lot of the crops here. So
interesting. Shock them.
Shock. Yeah, scare them. Think they're going to die. Okay, I'll make fruit.
I was always taught you don't want to shock trees, but
know,
that
right?
sounds like what's going on.
Yeah. So
interesting.
I noticed some of the avocados in Makwa, like they had more flowers than leaves. So I think it's going to be an amazing year for avocados. I'm excited for that too.
So if they're flowers now, how long is it going to be for their avocados?
Well, I think they're becoming avocados already. Even the mangoes. Yeah. I saw Hayden mangoes from Kihei and Pukalani Superette yesterday.
Wow.
So ripe. Oh. We made green mango with the shoyu and sugar vinegar the other day, but ripe mangoes are the best. I can hardly wait. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're grinning from ear to ear and getting ready to kind of slobber on them.
I know, right?
That's an awful picture I just painted, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's you. You love your fruits and vegetables.
For sure.
And so the farm is a great place for you, isn't it?
It is. And we don't just grow fruits and vegetables at the farm. People always ask me that. What do you grow at the Maui farm? Oh, we grow healthy families. So that's going to be a new thing.
That's number one.
Yeah. We don't just grow veggies and fruits at the farm. We are a nonprofit, obviously, who provides farm-based transitional housing for women and their children who are in transition from either domestic violence, substance abuse, homelessness, other kinds of crisis. And it's a transitional housing program, so they can stay about a year. We have 4 homes that are really large, beautiful homes, and we usually have 2 women and their children in each home. They share. So we do a lot of education just on roommate issues, because the current housing market, we can probably expect that a lot of our families will have to have roommates at some point. So we're teaching roommate issues, landlord, being responsible tenants, how to communicate with your landlord. And then we do family strengthening up at the farm, which is just magical and transformative. And yeah, we use the farm as a teacher, and it's beautiful. There are a lot of people who have never planted a seed and watched it grow into something. And so even our bookkeeper, she's like, oh, I don't really do outside and sun and stuff. And we're like, well, good. You're going to have a great adventure. And she's like, I am. And yes, she's had a great adventure, and she's always looking for her beets because she planted beet seeds, then replanted them, and then now they're in the ground. So she's watching, and she'll get to harvest and eat the beets. So, you know, it's such a great experience for the women and for the kids. So I love it. I think farming, we all have roots in agriculture, but we've been separated from that for many, even generations, some of us.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to my next door where my grandma lived, and the beautiful garden she had, and when the peas in the pods were ripe,
oh God,
man, I'd sneak over there and I'd just start popping them, right?
Yeah.
And I'd hear Grandma say, Susie, are you in the garden? And I go, uh-oh.
I know that sound.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, Grandma, what's up? And she go, don't eat the peas, they're for Grandpa for supper. And I go,
too late.
Can you wait until next week?
Yes.
Or I'd be gone and she'd come out and find this pile of pods.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That was favorite. The peas and the what was the set of tomatoes, of course.
Yeah.
And corn on the cob. Just eat it. You don't have to cook it. Don't have to do anything. Just clean the silk off and eat.
Yes, so sweet. Yeah, fresh out of the garden. My grandson will be 7 this month, and you know, when he was born, and one of his first foods was tomato, kind of by accident. I kind of gave him a tomato to gnaw on. He didn't have actual teeth through the skin yet, but he broke a hole through the skin and was eating it, and he was only like 5 months old, and I panicked and had to Google, how old are you supposed to be? You're not supposed to have tomatoes till you're 9 months old, but he didn't. He was fine. And it's actually his favorite food, so I kind of live my life to grow the perfect tomato for him.
There you go.
know, and I love tomatoes too, so we all, it's fun. I think we all love those little cherry tomatoes that are very sweet and yummy, and then big, fat, juicy tomatoes. So, yeah, we have all of those growing right now. We have Roma tomatoes in that are ripe on the farm.
I start every day with V8 juice.
Good for you. That's very healthy.
It used to be orange juice, nothing but orange juice. And then one day, I can't remember what was going on. I think I was gone someplace tonight. The restaurant didn't have fresh squeezed orange juice. So I thought, I'll just try this V8 juice. It sold me.
Yeah. You get way more vitamins and I think less sugar that way too. So probably good. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good for you.
Tomatoes.
I know. Tomatoes are the bomb. So, yeah, we are, eventually, so we do mostly grow the food on the farm for the women and children that are living there. And it's kind of fun because some of us don't know what all these vegetables are. And we have this patch of kale, and we also have these bunny rabbits. We also have goats, we have chickens, and so I had made a salad. Our avocado tree was ripe, so we picked an avocado and lemon, and you just mash the avocado with the kale and you make a salad out of that. We even had a fig on our fig tree, so it was this random salad. And she said, this one young woman said, I didn't know you could eat that. I thought that was just bunny food, the kale, because we feed it to the bunny rabbits, which they love it. But so we're also inviting these women to learn new things and make simple meals that are healthy out of these whole foods and get more vegetables in their lives. And then maybe when they move on and get their own housing, they can start a little garden or have a chicken or two, because we have farm fresh eggs that they gather every morning, and there's nothing quite like that farm fresh egg, and you don't have to go to the farmer's market, and chickens are easier than you think. I even have chickens at my house that we've had for quite a few years now, and they're super easy, and they turn your kitchen scraps into food that you can eat.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, so you can make a little house and they're good, but yeah, it's a very cool place. And so we often will invite people up to come into a farm tour or to our community gardening at the end of the month. The last Saturday of the month from 9 to 11, we invite people up to come and help us out on the farm. The last couple of months we've been working on these raised beds that were composting and doing what's called a lasagna bed. And so everybody thinks, oh, we're growing basil and tomatoes and mozzarella plants.
Mozzarella plants.
But
I want to see that package.
yeah, it's actually a style of composting. I am learning so much. Like I know this much about farm, just a tiny bit. I'm learning so much. My learning curve has been steep. But lasagna composting, you put green waste, so it's all green, fresh things from your yard, and then brown waste, which is the nitrogen. So you have 2 parts of nitrogen to 1 part of green, and you layer it and layer it and layer it, and then you smash it down, you water it all the time, and it'll start to decompose. We also use this thing called effective microorganisms. It's kind of like a live culture. You buy it in liquid form, and then you mix it with water and molasses, and it will feed on the molasses, and it helps to decompose the stuff in your, so you spray that on, and then it helps that. And then after a while, you keep piling this on, and then you put soil on top, and you plant your vegetables, and it'll continue to decompose. So the bed will drop down over time, but you can already grow food while you're still composting. So it's a super effective place. And we made it out of pallets that are free. And so it's very simple and can be done on a small scale. So we've been teaching people how to do the lasagna bed. So this month, on June 29th, we will actually be planting the lasagna beds.
And that's your community gardening day.
Yep.
Cool.
And so we have some regulars that come up that are excited. We have this one volunteer, he works for Southwest Airlines, and he brings his daughters that are twins, and they run around, and he's so committed to this lasagna bed. It's so amazing. He's worked really, really hard. So I hope he can make it on Saturday and help us plant, because it's going to be an exciting day.
So are there certain vegetables that do better in that kind of an atmosphere?
No, I think everything does well. We had another lasagna bed that we planted when I first got there. So we're on our second planting of that lasagna bed, and we planted herbs, and we teach this thing called companion planting, so that you plant vegetables, herbs, flowers all in the same area to attract the pollinators, to have beneficial partnerships, and it reminds us, like us, that we do better when we're in companionship with people and we connect with each other, and the plants do better. And so we had everything from lettuces and not basil. Well, we have basil too, but it's the other one, parsley. There's so many things that I'm learning. We had parsley and lettuce, and we had broccoli. We actually grew giant broccoli in this bed. I have never seen broccoli grow before. And tomatoes. The tomatoes on this plant, on this lasagna bed, were incredible. And I said, so we could really plant tomatoes and basil and have,
the start of lasagna.
Yeah, the start. So it was very cool. I'm serious. We grew tomatoes that were this big. I've never, like really, really big, like a softball size.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was really good. And so I'm expecting, so that was in a big lasagna bed. And then we decided that that's really not practical for most home gardeners to have this big lasagna bed. So we did a couple of smaller ones made out of pallets. And so we're trying to teach people how to home garden on a smaller level, doable, make it not so hard for people. Maybe at some point we'll have like a video blog or YouTube channel or something. I watch a lot of gardening YouTube channels, so I didn't know that was a thing, but it's a thing. I actually subscribe to things so I can watch this lady do her gardening at home.
Interesting.
It is. It's
Well,
really
you're
cool.
all in, aren't you?
I am.
On that note, we got to take a short break. We'll be right
Sounds
back.
good. Thanks.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show, excuse me, where we talk story with our executive directors and staff from our nonprofit agencies here on Maui. And this afternoon, hello, reminder that it's afternoon.
Yeah.
We started the show with Stacy Moniz, who's the executive director of the Maui Farm. And she's giving us all kinds of cool tips on gardening and things she's learned since she's been at the farm. And, you know, I remember when I first heard about the Maui Farm, and I thought it was a farm, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the publicity or the way it was being marketed or talked about or what, but the program was kind of secondary.
Uh-huh.
And when I learned the program that goes with it, it's like, wait a minute, you guys.
Yeah.
This is a fabulous program
Oh, my
that
gosh.
happens to include a farm.
Yes.
And all the things that people can learn. And, you know, it's always amazing to me how little most people know about gardening, farming,
Oh, it's
animals,
so true. Yeah.
fruits and vegetables, trees, etc. And I can't imagine how excited these women and their kids must be. Maybe not to get there and start, but after a couple of months, I mean, they've got to be all in.
You know, and I think when you're talking about women that are coming out of domestic violence, they're coming out of substance abuse treatment, maybe family court, drug court, and any of these scenarios that lead to homelessness and are, you know, for a lot of these women, they're used to being isolated and kind of just holding up in the house with their kids. And the first thing we do is just encourage them to come and get outside and come to the farm. And they say, oh, but I really don't want to talk to anybody. That's fine. We'll put you in a corner all by yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody. Just, you know, let's take a moment and think about the things in your life that really aren't serving you right now. And every weed you pull, you just like, I'm getting rid of all the junk in my life right now. And then pretty soon you have this whole pile of junk that's a metaphor, but it's very real. It's called horticultural therapy. Like, you really use the farm as a therapy. You don't even have to talk to anybody yet. But pretty soon, just being out in the sunshine and the fresh air and doing something productive, and you look and I cleared this whole patch of weeds. Wow, that soil looks great. And then we say, so compare that metaphor to you. What does that empty patch of fresh soil represent for you? That means a whole clean slate. Now, what do you want to put in there? Because if you don't put anything in there, the weeds will come back. So let's talk about positive affirmations. You know, let's talk about all the things that you have accomplished and focus on the positive. So, you know, like soil that's been abused and battered and mistreated and abused, you can reclaim that and grow beautiful things on there. And so then the farms becomes like a metaphor for their own lives. And it's not always fun. It's not always easy. Some days it's a lot of hard work, but eventually beautiful things grow out of there. And so the same is true for the women. They transform. And I saw a woman who was going through a really tough divorce, custody battle and everything, clear out an entire section of our garden over a week. Like, she got all her frustration out in that, and it was transformative for that space. But she like let go of so much stress and rage and justifiable anger. Like, I know why she was pissed. Like, that, it was so productive. It gives me chicken skin to remember that, because she looked completely different after that whole thing. She was relaxed. And it's funny because, you know, if you say to a funder, well, this woman learned how to relax at the farm. I don't know that that's exactly the story to tell, but it is a result of the work that she did at the farm. She learned how to relax and let go of all these things that were...
That load she was carrying, it must have been just awesome.
It was huge. And so, you know, there's a lot of these stories. Like, we had a woman who actually came from a big city on the mainland. Like, she had never gardened before, never even thought about it. And so she came on the farm. She loved it. Like, I would see her there on the weekends. She'd be, oh, I'm good. I'm just pulling all these weeds and picking the papayas, and she just loved it. It helped her flourish. So some people may never garden again when they leave, but I think more than a few of them go on to have at least a small garden or a couple of plants in pots, because it helps you see that life has a season, that everything changes. Like even the worst of times are going to become better, and it reminds you that it's a season. So there's countless metaphors. I'm not even talking about the native Hawaiian plant metaphors we have at the farm. That's some deep stuff. It is so good. I've always loved the farm. I just think it makes all the difference for the women and the children who come and live there. Yeah.
I think when you mentioned the seasons a little while ago, there's something to that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a time, a place, a season.
Yeah.
Seasons come and go.
Mm-hmm.
Things in our life come and go.
Yes.
I mean, this thing could just go on.
Yes.
In so many different directions.
Mm-hmm. In fact, we were talking about that this morning. We do, before our community garden, we all sit in a circle and we talk about, we do this thing called a weather ball. It was a lesson brought to us by this woman on Oahu, and we pass a ball around and what's your weather like? Just a check-in, how are you doing? And then we had this just kind of random conversation about things that change over time, and like even your handbag size. My purse has gotten bigger as I get older, and I remember my mother having a big purse, and because people depend on you to have everything in your bag. And so we had this whole conversation about that, and how things change over time, and that continued as we were weeding the garden, and the conversation was what else changes over time. And it was such a rich conversation because so many things. Some of us were getting a tan because it was kind of nice to be out in the sunshine. It was beautiful. And then we started talking about, we wanted to get more of a tan, and we're like, one of our farm hands is out there sometimes with her bathing suit on and the sprinkler going because it's so hot, and she's got this wheelbarrow and her boots on. I'm like, farming is sexy. and I told her I'm going to take a picture of you and put it on our Facebook, but I didn't. But we were talking about that, like how do we use our bodies in different ways, and how our bodies change over time, and that we're so strong, and how squatting in the garden to pull these weeds is really good for our health, and using our arms to use a picker to pick all these lychee and the papayas, and it's very good for our physical health, and then that affects our mental health, because as we know, our mental health affects our physical health and vice versa. So if we can approach the women on all aspects of their lives, their physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, it makes a big difference. And so coming to the farm, like I've heard women say, it's the perfect transition for them out of domestic violence shelter or treatment or homelessness. It's a pause so that they have very affordable rent, and they can practice their things while they're there and integrate what they learned in treatment or at the domestic violence shelter for when they're on their own. So they have this support for a year, about a year. Some is less, some is more. And then they're on their own, and they can always come back, and they often do, which is great. And we hired 2 of the graduates. We've hired more than 2, but in recent months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'd love to do that, and because who's going to tell the story better than somebody who's been there themselves? Yeah.
What the goal obviously is to have them prepared to go back out into the world as self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Now, does that include any training for a job or preparing for that?
Yep. So again, coming out of these situations, not only do you tend to be more isolated, you also may have a sketchy job history, either as for any of these scenarios. So we have a stipend program where they can apply for this program, get a resume put together, and set their hours, and then they earn $10 an hour. It's not a real job. It's not even minimum wage. It's a stipend. So it's a good amount of money, but it helps them set their own schedule. Then they accomplish that. So we work on them with their goals. They create goals for themselves, and one of them is usually around employment or training. So if they're wanting to get a job, this helps them learn those soft skills. set my schedule, show up on time. If I'm not able to make it, I need to let my boss know or my supervisor know. Being responsible and accountable, turn in a timesheet, then all those things. So those are the more soft skills. And then once they work on the farm for a period of time, they're eligible for this farm workers program through MEO. Maui Economic Opportunity runs this national farm workers program, which has helped to go back to school. So even if you don't want to work in agriculture, maybe especially they'll help you for a year with tuition, maybe gas vouchers or whatever you might need, and clothes, even computers if you need help with that. And then, so we have a woman who just finished her second semester in human services because she's so inspiring. She came through a lot of stuff with 2 kids, and she used a lot of different human services, and so she wanted to be one of those helpers. And so she's now in human services, second semester.
Play it forward.
Yes.
Help somebody like she was helped.
Yep. She's one of those people that at some point we hope to hire her back too. So
Great.
We're super proud of her.
This has got to be exciting for you, coming from the world of women helping women, where the women were in trouble
Sure.
and needed something, and now you're on the other end where
Oh.
you're providing that something,
Yes.
and watching them go out into the world almost as new people.
Yeah, it is. It's like we have these butterfly metaphors everywhere because, there's a saying, just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she became a butterfly. So, yes, the caterpillar is gone, but now you're a butterfly. And so what does that look like? And there's another one that has the caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly, and it says, give yourself time. Because if you see yourself as the caterpillar or you see yourself as the chrysalis, you have no idea what you're really going to become. So that kind of gives me chicken skin, but I love that. And so there are, oh my God, countless metaphors on the farm and the women. So yeah, coming from domestic violence, I loved that work, and that's how I got to know the Maui Farm, because we were really strong partners for many years. And so I would take everybody to the farm, like partners, other shelter people, domestic violence agents, because I think the farm is replicable. It is just probably the best solution for many kinds of challenges, but especially for women and their children who are working to be self-sufficient. It is so powerful and dynamic. So, yeah.
Wow, what a story! What a story!
Lots of stories.
And again, we're talking about the community gardening day that you have every last Saturday of the month, 9 a.m. to 11. Do they need to call?
Yeah, that would be really helpful. So a couple things you can do. You can follow us at the Maui Farm on Facebook. That's all we got. We don't have any more. Someday, maybe. I'm kind of old for social media, but we do have younger staff.
Oh, yeah, right.
But, we do a great Facebook. And then if you would like to volunteer, maybe you have a service group even. We have a lot of great service clubs come up. We have the Rotaries up, Seroptimus. So we have a lot of service clubs that come and do projects. And just give us a call at the Maui Farm, 579-8271, or find us online. You can communicate through our website, which is a good way, or email Kaiulani at themauifarm.org. She's our contact person. She'll put you on the calendar for community gardening on the last Saturday of the month. Just 2 hours, 9 to 11 on the last Saturday of the month. And we usually have a nice, refreshing tea that we make on the farm after everyone helps. And sometimes we even have the fruits that we've harvested that day, either to eat or take home with you. No one ever leaves empty-handed from the farm. There's always things you can take, seedlings, or we sell some plants too. So it's a fun day at the farm. It's kind of cathartic, and a lot of people want to do that but don't have a farm. So we tell them, come, plant your stuff, and then when we harvest, it's yours, like for real. Those should be your plants. So I'm thinking like one of our lasagna beds that we're making, we're going to give to this guy that helps us so much so that he can plant his stuff there.
So I've learned something new, lasagna beds.
Yep.
I'm a lasagna eater from way back, and boy, the minute you said that word, you had my full attention.
For sure.
Anyway, wonderful. Thank you so much,
Oh my
Stacy.
gosh, thank you too. You do such a great job. Thank you for
Yeah.
researching all of us and knowing so much about us before we get here.
Hey, you guys just add to what's going on in our county and what everybody's doing. I mean, everybody's got just a little different twist on what they're
Yes.
doing,
Yeah.
which is great. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Maui no Kauai for
Yeah.
many reasons.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you too.
Have a great day.
You too.
And now we shift gears, and we're going to talk with Dane Ka'ai, who is the Youth Services Director for MEO. Hi, Dane.
Hi, thanks for having us on.
Hey, how you doing? It's summertime. I know you. This is your busy season.
It is our busy season. I got like 3 shades darker, but we are pushing through. We got 1 more month, and then yeah. our
Everybody goes
summer's-
back to school, and you can
Yeah.
cool off a little bit.
Yeah, lick our wounds and plan for the next adventure and stuff. But yeah, thanks for having us on, Susan.
Oh, hey, it's my pleasure. I know that every year in the summertime, the kids that probably wouldn't have anything to do and wouldn't probably sign up for any classes or workshops or any of those kinds of things are the kids that come to see you, and you get to find out. Well, no, you don't really find out their interest. You create interest.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we really do. I have a great staff. They're new, but they've been learning fast to put together like activities and opportunities where they can these youth can really shine and open up, and really by the summer we have like kind of like this cultural potluck where the kids bring some of the dishes that they identify with, and we have we all eating, and we were having fun, but they're all crying at the end of the summer. They've been made great friends, and it's not just the same age group. It's like 6th graders interacting with juniors and seniors from different schools, and they're all crying, and they made these great relationships, and it's amazing to see. Like, wow, they just met 2 months ago, and their bond, and they can always outside of MEO link up with these guys, and
So,
it's nice.
do any of them continue back and come back next year?
Yeah, they do. They stay for our after school program, and then they continue on with kind of our leadership and community advocacy kind of work that we do throughout the year, and then so that gets filled up too. Summertime gets the most kids come out, but then during our regular after school program, it's still pretty packed now.
Gotcha.
The word's out. We were kind of quiet, but yeah, the word's out.
I gotcha. So now these are daytime, full day sessions you have with the children.
Yeah, we do.
Children? It doesn't sound right to say children. With the youth.
Yeah, you.
There we go.
So they, we get them at like they just graduated 5th grade, so going into 6th grade, 6th grade all the way up to 12th grade. So
okay.
that's our age range. But yeah, kids, youth. But yeah, we get them. We've been working in that age group for a long time because MEO also has an early head start, so we try to all the way up to seniors. So we hit the whole whole life cycle of programs.
I always said you guys covered it all.
Yeah.
from newborns, well, not quite newborns, but 6 months or whatever. For
Almost. 6 months.
One school that you have, all the way up through the seniors.
Yeah, seniors, and they do great work with the seniors, and a lot of activities are coming up for them too.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be doing the next couple of days?
Thank you. Next couple of days we'll be working on. We're actually going to be like have a camping trip. It's like very rare that we do have camping, but we're going to go out to Hana, and then stay overnight. And then we always go help this farm in KNI that we go, learn how to take care of the land, and then working in the lo'i patches. And the kids got a great hands-on experience doing community service with that family out in KNI.
In the mud.
Yes, in the mud. And I must bring back like 10 loaves of like banana bread.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
requests.
that's big out there,
Ken,
yeah.
it's so good. But yeah, we're going to have an overnighter for the end of the week. Today they went to the Maui Food Bank where they helped, put stuff away, stack stuff,
Sort.
and I try to give them opportunity where it's like they service back to the community and they're like actually giving back.
Right.
So we have like lots of different places that we set up during the before the summer starts.
And I think before the show when we were talking, you mentioned that Stacy, who was on just a few minutes ago at the Maui farm, you guys work with her.
Yeah, we were excited about that too. So working with Stacy at Maui Farms, and I can give it. I can point towards Cliff, our new AmeriCorps. Cliff Caesar's been working with us for a few months now, but he can go talk about our partnership with Stacy and Stacy Moniz and Maui Farms.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk with Cliff.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we're back. Excuse me, this is Maui Nonprofit Notes, your weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executives, directors, and staff to find out what's happening in their world and with their clients. And today, earlier we talked with Stacy Moniz from the Maui Farm. Now we're talking with the folks from MEO's Youth Services. We started out with Dane Ka'ai, who's the Youth Services Director. And now we're going to shift gears and talk with Cliff Caesar. Hello. Remember the salad.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not quite the Alamo, but it's Remember the Salad. Who is handling the AmeriCorps program. So you must have something exciting coming up.
Well, we also have something exciting.
There you go.
Let me just start off by talking a little bit about what AmeriCorps is all about. AmeriCorps is national service. It's kind of like the domestic Peace Corps, but it's much shorter term.
Okay.
So it's not quite the commitment. And basically, it's all about community service, giving back to your community here in the United States. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of AmeriCorps programs. Our program through MEO here on Maui is all about environmental protection. So we work with a variety of host sites like the Department of Land and Natural Resources, the Maui Nui Botanical Gardens, La Kea Village, the Maui Farm, a lot of different places. And it's all about protecting the environment. You know, they're out there cutting down miconia or building fences to keep pigs and goats out of forest areas.
And deer.
And trying to protect, and deer, a lot of deer. Trying to protect our watersheds. This is a big job. It's a huge job. And fortunately, there's a lot of people who are involved in it. What AmeriCorps does is it kind of presents this opportunity to people who may not know exactly what they're doing. There are two main groups of people that tend to apply for AmeriCorps. The first would be recent high school graduates. You know, I graduated from high school, now what am I going to do the rest of my life? And it's all about exposure. You know, you go out there for a limited period of time and you work to help protect the environment. Now, what happens a lot of times is people find their passion in this and they want to continue. and it creates career opportunities because they're learning to do the work. And so now they're experienced. People know them when they apply. There are the opportunities. Another big group of people who get into AmeriCorps are people who are recent college graduates or somebody about to go on to a master's program in environmental sciences. And so this is their field. So this is their opportunity to gain exposure. Now we have other people, have degrees in psychology, and they just don't know what they want to do with their life. I can say that I had a degree in psychology.
I see. Okay. We know from experience.
There you go. But again, it's giving them their exposure, and it helps them to think about maybe they may want to go on to graduate school, for instance. So we have various programs. We have a 300-hour program, which is basically broken down by 10 weeks, 5 pay periods. And just to backtrack, there is a living allowance that is paid. Upon completion of your term, and again, this could be as short as 300 hours, you also get an education award, which can be used for 7 years after that for tuition and books and, to further your education or to pay off college loans. So great opportunities there. So currently, right now, we have 300-hour programs available. We also have 450-hour programs and a 900-hour program, which is over 6 months.
Okay.
But for the 300-hour program, we still have some positions available, and they will be available for the next month or so.
Okay.
So it would be very important for somebody to kind of jump on this if they're really interested.
All right. At least find out more details.
Yes. Yeah, and to do that, they could just give me a call.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just give you my number.
All right.
Number is 243-4324. Now, if you leave a message, please be clear. I've had a bunch of people call me up all excited, very interested, and they give me the number, and for some reason the last couple numbers are just they fade out, or it's not understandable, and I'm trying all these other numbers because I really want to talk to them.
Right.
So if you do call me, if I don't call you back in the next couple days, please call me back.
There you go. Good point. I know I get those too, and I'm sitting here and I go, what was that? Or it's the number in the middle, 2473.
Right.
24, what? What was it? Okay.
In fact, if anybody locally is listening to this and they had called me and I didn't call them back, please call me again.
There you go. Again, that number is 243-4324.
Yes.
Very good. Now they can kind of get an overview by going to your website, right? Of what you've got some information up there.
There is a national AmeriCorps website.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And actually, they could go onto the MEO website and get some information there as well.
Okay. Very good. And that's guys and gals.
Yes, guys and gals. You just need to be 17 and above.
Gotcha. Interesting. And like the outdoors.
Love the outdoors, yeah. And again, I've talked to people who didn't know what they wanted to do, but they found that they had a real passion for this kind of work. So it's the start of something great, potentially.
Right.
And if it's not the start of something great, we've all had jobs that maybe didn't quite work out or weren't exactly what we wanted. And it doesn't look good in your application if you show that you only worked a couple months somewhere and then left. Well, this is a program with a term. So all you do is, even if it's not working out, just complete the term.
Right.
And forever you are an AmeriCorps alumni.
There you go.
And it looks good on your application. You've completed this program.
The 300 hours makes you an alumni.
Yeah. So it's an average of around 30 hours a week over 10 weeks.
Okay. Great.
Easy enough.
Now, when they sign up, they go through a training process or a learning process, whatever. And then the assignments could be any of these locations that we talked about earlier? Or is there a set schedule of when people go to this place and then that place? And
No, they would be committed to a specific host site.
okay, for the 300
So,
hours.
Yeah, so for that whole time, they would be working with that host site,
Ah, okay.
learning everything there is to learn through that host site.
I see. Okay.
Now, you can have 4 terms. So what could happen is if you're working out really well at that host site and they like you, you could do a second and a third or even a 4th term.
Oh, it's the same place.
Yeah. Or you might say, this was really great, but I'd like to be exposed to this other area and see what that's all about. And if you're doing a good job here, you could have a good opportunity to go to another host site at the conclusion of your term.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so. About how many students? They aren't really students. Enrollees do you have at a given time?
Right now, we have 4, but we have slots for a lot more.
Okay,
So,
I got you.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's this group of 200 people
No.
that you're mingling with and trying to get the site you want.
No. That there are opportunities right now with about three of our sites.
Okay. Great, super. This is the time to get out there and try it.
Yeah.
I think that there's some of these things like AmeriCorps that we hear about them, but we don't really tune into them.
Right.
Because AmeriCorps has been around forever.
Yes.
And like you say, it's like a local version of Peace Corps without the long-term effects of being foreign countries and whatever.
Yes.
But I look at this like you say, you finished high school, now what? And we do have an awful lot of kids that don't know what they want to do. They've done what they have to do, and now it's kind of downtime.
Yeah. What happens when you're a recent high school graduate, there's 2 things. One is you really don't know what you want to do. And a lot of times when you are applying for jobs, they'll say, well, I'm sorry, you don't have the experience. So here's a great opportunity to get some experience as well.
Right.
As well as the exposure into something that you may not have even thought about, and suddenly you grow a passion for.
Right. That's good.
And over the years, AmeriCorps has developed with MEO like really strong host partners. These sites, including sites like Maui Farms and Log Hill Farms over there, and Dilinar. So we've been having a lot of strong partnerships in that area, long term, with connecting them with some of the members over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
terrific.
there are a lot of AmeriCorps alumni out there. What was real interesting for me is when I first started this program and I'd visit host sites and I'd visit potential host sites, instead of me doing the talking, I'd sit back and listen, and they'd tell me all about the great experiences they had with AmeriCorps. So they really sold me on the program.
There you go. Hey, that's the best kind.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. Now, if someone does come in and say that does a 300-hour stint with you, and then lays out saying, that really wasn't what I wanted, but then they think, wait, they did have this program with DNLR that might be more interesting than doing the farm. Can they come back?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doors open.
Doors open. They may decide to go back to college, and after a couple of years, come back and do another term then.
Right.
The other thing about our 300-hour programs is if you are a local kid going to a mainland college, if after high school or even after your first year of college, if you come back and spend a summer working at one of these places, because you could do up to 4 terms, you're almost guaranteed to come back every summer and have a job
Have a
waiting
job.
for you
Wow. That's
in
cool.
some of the most pristine, beautiful spots on earth.
Wonderful. Good point. Yeah, good point. So you can enjoy the summer
Right. Outdoors.
outdoors, and still get some work experience and
Yeah,
have that
just
on your
think if you're going to school, Nebraska or something, and you're telling people, yeah, I'm going back to Maui, and I'm going to be out there in the middle of the forest for the next, couple months.
Yeah, taking down the
Okay.
invasives,
Oh,
So it's-
wow.
yeah.
That's terrific. Hey, Cliff, thank you for being here. That's more than I learned about AmeriCorps from previous guests. So Dane just kind of let you go with it. That's cool. Because your program is pretty much full right now.
Oh, it is right now. It is. And then one event I wanted to just talk about, too, because it just popped in my head. But then on July 25th, I'm going to have some of them with our we do programming with all the youth together. That's 6th grade to 12th. But we also have the high schoolers in a special leadership program, which they call their group Maui Connection, like connecting with other youth on Maui, connecting them to whatever kind of help they might need, because we do focus on prevention during our regular year, like anything from underage drinking to like bullying and cyberbullying, and also teen suicide. So I just got, like, within the last couple of months, called by Akaku, and they're doing these summer salon sessions.
Oh, yeah.
And they wanted us to come and talk, or bring in some youth, and it's going to be keeping our Kiki safe from real threats. July 25th. We'll be joining with Danny Collins, is the guy I've been talking to. And we're going to bring in some youth and get their perspective on what's been going on in Maui and threats that they've been encountering. And it's just like a nice little sit-down live show that I'm really excited about.
Cool.
And we're going to be maybe a partnership that we want to work with the public, television
Right.
on Maui. So, yeah.
So that's July 25th from 6 to 7:30. Akaku upstairs.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good. Hey, we're running out of time, guys. I can't believe it.
It's quick.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Dane and Cliff, for being here today and sharing your information on your programs. And we'll check in with you again later.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Please give them a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Pacific Source has been our sponsor from day one, and we thank them for their ongoing support. And to you, our listeners, we thank you for the response our agencies get from you regarding the activities that we talk about on this program. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their staff, their organization, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org. Again, we want to thank Stacy Moniz from the Maui Farm and Dane Ka'ai and Cliff Caesar, who spoke about MEO's youth services programs. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again next week, right here, same time, same place, when we'll feature 2 more agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. Oh, until then, this has been a heck of a week. What was it? Last week was so weird because we had that Thursday holiday, yeah? But this week is, I don't know. We won't talk about it. Until next week, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks again for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.